Who are you?
Um, if I were to describe myself, that's a great question. Who am I? Um, Someone who is, I love, I love everything about life. I love watching people. I do my best to make other people's lives better, um, including my mind, including myself. But I feel like in my lifetime, I am one that's just here to help others figure out how to live spiritually and consciously better for themselves. I know that sounds a little vague, but I love that. I love problem solving with people. Um, I love making people laugh that are struggling or give them a point of view that they might not have understood that can help them in the situation they're in. Um, Always looking at the light. I'm a half cup. I'm always the cup is full, no matter what. No matter what, the cup is full. Um, I don't know. I guess that's the that's the best way I guess I can describe myself.
And so you told me what you love doing, and you love helping, you love doing this, and how you like helping others, but you didn't tell me who you are. Ask, who are you?
Who am I? I'm just a being experiencing this lifetime the best way I can. Is that an answer?
That's an answer, but it doesn't tell me who you are.
I'm not sure I know how to answer that then. Uh, who am I? You know,
You told me
I
what you're
am,
doing. You told me how you like helping you, how much
yeah,
you love this, and your cup is full.
yeah,
But
yeah,
you
yeah.
still didn't tell me
I'm the
who you
son of
are.
James. I'm the son of James Breuer and Doris Ann Lestrange. Uh,
So you told me who you belong to, but who are you?
I don't know. It's a great question. Sometimes I feel like I'm one of God's messengers. I don't know. That's the best. I don't know. Who are you? Maybe that'll help me focus in better on a true answer.
And I want you to discover the answer, and you can. And but I don't want to give you any hints. I want you to discover it for yourself. Then once you see it for
Okay.
yourself, you will know without a doubt. But I want to ask, do you create your own
Yeah.
thoughts?
Uh, some of them, a lot of them are influenced without it. I'd be a fool not to say that. Um, but yeah. Oh, I don't know. Like my thoughts will come from obviously certain influences, whether it be a what's in my face, uh, visually or people. And then the other thoughts are when I'm by myself and I'm still and silent. Well, I talk to God and I say, what do you want me to see? What do you want me to feel? What do you want me to put out there? Um, and then thoughts often come from that. But I don't think they're my thoughts. I think they're God's thoughts, and it's up to me whether to accept them or not. That's how I feel sometimes. That's how I feel a lot.
And so, do you create your own thoughts?
I'm gonna say yes, I create my own thoughts.
And how do you do that? How do you create thoughts? How do you, Jim, create thoughts? What are the steps?
Um, like for instance, I don't know, there's a lot of for instances there. Um, coming on the show, uh, invitation, I went in with zero thought process. Whatever comes up, comes up. Um, and then as we talk through experiences, I will elaborate on experience or those thoughts. If I want to come up with something funny, I'll sit and observe, and in my head I'll get visuals that I'm creating in my head, and I'll try to reenact them or bring them to the surface. So I guess those are my thoughts.
But you're not telling me how you create them.
But
Since you believe that you do create them, how do you create them? What are the steps to creating your own thoughts?
um, most of the time, it's being still. When I'm still or when I'm completely free of mind, what will happen is thoughts will start going through my head, whatever those thoughts will be. And then I will grab onto one particular one and perhaps elaborate on it.
And so are you creating those thoughts that are going through your head when you're still?
I have no clue, to be honest with you, anymore. I thought, I do think a lot of that, I do think, honestly, a lot of that is God or the internal being. I don't know if it's Jim Breuer actually creating it. Uh, Sometimes I feel it is, but I'm open and bright-eyed and bushy-tailed to learn otherwise.
And so you sometimes have good thoughts and you sometimes have bad thoughts. If you were the creator of your thoughts, would you ever create a bad thought for yourself?
Oh, without a doubt. Now, when you say
Without
for
a doubt,
myself,
what?
not without a doubt create bad thoughts.
You would create thoughts that would make you feel afraid or sad or bad?
Yeah, like I will definitely go into, there's been times in life where I would go into, and I think I will scare myself in a thought, or I will bring myself to a scenario that I hope I'm never part of, if that makes sense. I don't know if that's like that's clearly either past trauma or whatever. We're like, oh my God, I hope I'm never in this situation. But those are not good thoughts. They're almost anxiety where you create in your head. But in my head, I feel like I'm prepping in case that happens.
And so who will you be?
Yeah, you laugh.
Who will you be if you had no thoughts?
Say it again.
Who will you be? Who would you be? Who will you be if you had no thoughts?
Just I feel like I wouldn't be any different than a plant or a flower, or it's just nothingness, really. I don't know. With
So
no
what?
thoughts, you're just a being.
So you're saying that you would be like a plant or you'd be like a being if you had no thoughts?
A being,
And what
a
is a
being, a
being?
consciousness. A consciousness, just a simple creature of consciousness.
And how do you know that since you have never given up thoughts?
I don't know that.
And so why are you making it up now? Where are you getting that idea from?
Well, I'm sure I've gone there certain times, and I don't know if that's like me, where I've thought about death, what happens after death, what happens, like what are we before we show up here? What are we? We just energy, consciousness. What are we before we even show up? Um, so yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I go that far out, or I don't know if I go that far deep to understand that answer.
And do you
Or
believe
maybe it spooks me.
do you believe death exists?
I believe that energy goes on to something else. I'd like to believe uh, that there is some type of energy or consciousness that continues, or a spirit, whatever that may be.
Well, there's only one death, and that death is from your false self. You got to die from all the ideas and thoughts and imagination that you have about yourself. They're all ego. They have nothing to do with you. And if you want to live, you got to let all images
Mm.
go. All thoughts, the so-called good ones and the bad ones, you got to let them go. Stop identifying with them so they can die, be taken away from you, and you can be free. You have never created a
Yeah.
thought. You have never created. It's impossible for you to do that. Even if you tried, you could not create a good one or a bad one. And none of your thoughts are from God. They're all lies. All thoughts are all lies all the time about anything.
That is fascinating, and me on quite a bicycle ride when we're done with this. um, so is that also tap into emotions, where everything then becomes emotionless?
I promise you, when all thoughts are
Yeah.
gone, all emotion will disappear. You cannot be emotional unless you had the thought first. The so-called good ones and the bad ones, they all come from thought. You think, and because you don't catch those thoughts, you call them you react. You feel good or you feel bad. Oh, she loved me. She hate me. She this and that. You cannot have the emotion without you have the thought. And just as you are not your thoughts, you also are not your emotions. They're in your body when they come from thought, but they're not. You are not your body. They're not you.
Hmm. So now, just a question.
Yes.
When did you come into knowing that, and what age would you say when you really learned to harness what you just said?
At age 38, when I was sick,
Wow.
when I was sick and tired of being what I was, angry, had fear, judgment, emotional, up and down, looking for love. When I was sick and tired of living in hell, that's when I began to find heaven. And I had to go through hell, which is dying from those thoughts and emotions. You have to go through hell in order to find heaven. And you're never going to find heaven until you die from hell. Anyone that has emotions, thoughts, and emotions are living in hell. Worry is hell. Anxiety is hell. Depression is hell. Suicidal thought is hell. Looking for love is hell. Being unable to live alone is hell. Have to be a part of a crowd. Identifying with someone else is hell. It's all hell. You got to die from that in order to live in heaven right here on earth. It's all false. It's not real.
Mm. So what controls us all?
Right
Is
now,
it all dark thoughts?
yes. Right now, you're being controlled by evil of your imagination. All thoughts are all lies all the time. And when you die from the thoughts, and you will if you work on yourself, then you will be controlled by God, by the truth, by love. You will be controlled by God, and there will be no more hell. You will be free.
Hmm.
But you got to
And
doubt every thought.
Okay. With that, do you no longer, wow, that is fascinating. I would imagine then in that world, then you don't feel the need like I need someone to, you know, be more loving towards me or be more whatever towards you because you don't need that existence. Uh, and yet you could still live amongst everyone else that is not there.
Absolutely. You will overcome the world, and the world you will overcome is the false world inside of you first. All of your hell is inside of you. I know your wife gave you hell, but if it wasn't in you, she couldn't bring out what was in there. All your
Right.
problems are inside of you, and once you overcome that, nobody or nothing in the world can touch you. It would be impossible. Without you even
Mm,
trying, you'll be in the world but not of it, without your effort at all.
yeah. It's funny, Jesse. I feel like I'm so close. I feel like I'm so close, but yet this was, and I'm looking for this. I'm looking for everything you brought today. Um, and this has been very helpful. Uh, and I know you know it's helpful.
Yes.
So I can't say like you have no clue how helpful. Yeah, you already know. Um, wow.